And here we are. It's almost time for the last game on track one. We have the Calgary All-Stars taking on Fight Club. Skating in black for the Calgary All-Stars. We got 004 Projectile, 006 Knockout Sunday, 011 Blair Block, 018 Bananimal, 1111 Joe Means Joe, 1116 Chris My Ass, 12 Ruthless Red, 1349 Razor, 213 Sleep, 2931 Taz, 4 Pay the Pain, 44 Howabunga, 63 Smacky Kennedy, 66 Are You Ready, and 747 Knox. Skating in white for Fight Club, we got 08 Maniac. Oh, hold on, I gotta put the rosters up here. 083 She-Hulk, 180 April Sowers, 2 Kamikaze, 201 Curb Stompin' Coleshaw, 222 Sarah Labadie, 30 Rip, 40 Punchy, 56 Mac Daddy, 576 Koozie, 7012 Guts, 8 Scream Soda, 87 Betty Davis Eyes, 89 Emski Hammer, and number 911 Killerella. Your first jammers on record are going to be Joe Means Joe. And if I'm not mistaken, that is Koozie. Nope. Mac Daddy. Getting all our refs sorted out. A lot of our refs and myself were just on the other track. I was watching my kid play. And our timekeeper was just the head NSO, I do believe, on the other track. They get all their dots, I's dotted and T's crossed before they could run over here. And I believe we are almost ready. Our sponsors today. Your jam line is sponsored by Full Mobility Chiropractic. Your pivot line is sponsored by Bad Girlfriend Skates. We still got a chance. You can throw a pie at a junior. Looks like April Sowers is still in need of a pie to the face, as is Mo. You can bid on at the CCRD track. You may have seen me walking around with a QR code. It is available at the door. You can scan that and vote for your tournament MVPs. Streaming this weekend has been brought to you by Stream Systems. Yeah, we're ready to go. That rolling whistle. That means the 30 seconds. Everyone lining up. Joe Means Joe trying to get through. Razor already takes a directional call, looks like. And Mac Daddy gets lead jam against Joe Means Joe. Joe is taking the star off and has passed it to Howabunga. Howabunga gets through. Mac Daddy falling close behind, calls off that jam. They did get 4 points. Welcome to all of our viewers here on YouTube on our live stream. Betty Davis eyes now. Going against Chris My Ass. And Chris My Ass is out first with lead. Davis falling close behind. Razor comes out of the box, and Chris calls that gem off. A couple of zeros for both the teams. That is Labadie now on the jam, the full mobility chiropractic jam line. Are You Ready? Going to be your jammer for the All-Stars. Are You Ready? Has been tearing through these packs quickly and does it again. And Sleep is now headed to the genuine penalty box. Looks like we had some confusion there. Labadie was given lead jam. Officials got everything sorted out. That is Mac Daddy going again. Now Projectile for the All-Stars. Projectile quickly through, hops on that inside apex. Projectile spinning around and calling from their knees. Projectile, they were able to pick up 3 points. Puts us in a tie game at 4-4. Coming out onto the track now is Bananimal, your jammer for the All-Stars. And if I'm not mistaken, that is Betty Davis eyes. And we got an official timeout. The officials are just sorting some stuff out, figuring it out. And we are back. And Bananimal quickly through on the inside, chased a bit by Coleshaw, but able to stay up and in. And we have a star pass now. Coleshaw is your jammer for Fight Club. Bananimal able to stay up and in. Calls off that jam. And Bananimal is going to be assessed a procedural call. As if you see that white thing that went sliding across the track, that was Bananimal's mouth guard. I believe there's still time to get into the draws for the door prizes. And there's still time to donate to throw a pie at one of the juniors. Emsky Hammer going to be starting on a power jam. Runs into a knockout Sunday. Just gets past Rusas Red and secures lead. Hits the Fight Club bench, yelling to keep skating. Blair Block able to knock Emsky down on that corner. Emsky calls off that jam before Banana comes around and he gets a chance to even secure their first pass. 2 points for Emsky, brings the score to 8-6. Next up on your jam line, we got Mac Daddy for Fight Club. And Joe Means Joe for Calgary All-Stars. Smacky Kenny heading to the Genuine penalty box. There's a forearm call on Joe Means Joe. Gives Mac Daddy had a no pass, no penalty, so that means we are skating for the full 2 minutes as Joe went to the box and Mac Daddy did not have a clean pass through the pack. Howabunga knocked down by Killarella. Mac Daddy comes back up. Leaning on that tripod, that Sleep, Razor, and Howabunga. They're able to cycle Mac Daddy back. Joe still looking for that initial pass. Just has to get past Guts and Killarella. And draws a multiplayer penalty on Guts. Joe coming back around. Able to come back in right before Killarella. Howabunga in there trying to make some space. Now trying to bridge this pack. A no pack call. I don't think Mac Daddy heard it because they skated back a little bit further after it. And after that jam, Fight Club got 13, and the All-Stars at 12. Chris Myas is coming out now to jam for the All-Stars, and Maniac coming out to jam for Fight Club. Chris Myas able to get through on the outside. Coleshaw tried the arrest to get in the way, but couldn't quite. A directional call on Ruthless Red will send them to the box. Knox able to push Maniac out. Chris came around to get their 4 points, now looking for more. And there's a forearm call on Taz. Betty Davis Eyes has taken the star and is now your jammer on record for Fight Club. Chris Myas, here's the bench, tell them to call it. They do. They'll pick up 2 more to bring them to a total of 6 on that jam. We got a score now of 18-3. 13, not 3. There's a 1 in front of that 3. Labadie is now coming out for Fight Club. Projectile running again for Calgary. Calgary starting down 2 blockers as Red and Taz are in the box. That's going to be Good news, you only have 2 blockers to get past. Bad news is it's Howabunga and Razor. Red's now joining the party. And Projectile gets through and secures lead. Well, the Baddies still struggling to make that initial pass. Howabunga and Razor have been solid there. Projectile liked that first Apex jump so much they decided to do it again. Scream Soda says, I'm going to try and take you out, and whiffs. Projectile hits that pack, is pushing. We now have a star pass, and Emsky's your jammer on record. Emsky gets the star, gets it on, and does not get a chance to score any points as Projectile gets through and calls it off. They were able to put up, I do believe, a total of 12. Right now it's at 8. Maybe it's only 8. Maybe I miscounted. Are you ready? Now going to be jamming for the All-Stars. Betty Davis Eyes is your jammer for Fight Club. This is Aria's second jam of the day. And they're able to push their way through, just getting past Guts. And Davis stuck at the back of the pack. But do get through. And Aria was right behind him, calls off that jam. Banana Mill now coming out for the All-Stars. I do believe it appears as though we're going to have a timeout called. It's Ferris Bruiser, one of the bench coaches for the for Fight Club, along with it's like Rennie, Skidlet, and I don't know who it is on third base. I think it's Troublegum. I can't see their jersey from where I'm standing. Yeah, and we're back. This is going to be Bananimal jamming against Mac Daddy. Both of these jammers have had a busy weekend. If I'm not mistaken, Bananimal played in the game right before this for the Jane Deers. Mac Daddy gets through his lead. And actually, I think almost half the players on this All-Stars team were just playing in the Jane Deers game. We got our penalty call here. That is a cut penalty on Bananimal. Mac Daddy now on a power jam, has lead, calls off this jam. They will freeze Bananimal in the box. Yeah, I think Projectile, Knockout Sunday, Blair Block, Bananimal, and Smacky Kennedy and Knox all played in the game right before this for the Jane Deers. Bananimal starting this jam in the box. Scream Soda going to be your jammer for Fight Club. Looks like Sundays might have started on that line and had to yield. Holding up Scream Soda. Scream Soda still fit, trying to get that initial pass. Banal comes up, smashes into the blockers. And Scream Soda, a hard fight, but it took a little bit longer than they were anticipated. 32 seconds to get lead, but they do have it now. Come through on the inside. That is, I do believe, a low block there going to Ruthless Red. Scream Soda now on their second scoring pass. Bananimal not able to make their first pass. Or they might have just made it. Because I don't see the signal from Jeff Demis that they did not finish their initial pass. Usually the ref will hold up their hand and wiggle it. Red will be the pivot starting in the Genuine penalty box. Lining up on your full mobility chiropractic jam line is Joe Means Joe and Betty Davis eyes. These two are opponents today, and they were teammates earlier playing for the NF Bombs. And Joe able to fight their way through. Gets that lead. Joe comes back to the pack. Just has one more skater to get past. It's Labadie. And they are able to get past them. And there's a penalty going to, looks like it's directional to Razor. Our next time out here, I'll get our penalties up to show everyone what we're at. We have a no pass, no point. That means Joe only got 3 for that round. Looking for a couple more. And they get through. Able to put up 4. And Davis is now off to the Genuine penalty box to feel shame. Joe hit there. Who was that? That was Tornado throwing a hit. Bounced right off of Joe and onto the ground. Davis going to be starting this jam in the box. Next 20 seconds, let's just quickly scan. Here's your penalties for Calgary while we're waiting. After the next jam, we'll show you the penalties as they stand for Fight Club. And Chris My Ass is through. And quickly makes work of that. Calgary being able to go full offense. Chris comes back. Held up by Mac Daddy. That's some Mac Daddy, She-Hulk, and I should know 44 is Maniac. And Davis does get through. Chris has 4. Looking to put up a few more before this jam ends. Calls off that jam before Davis has a chance to get around. They were able to get past 2 jam blockers, so we'll put up a total of 6 on that jam. Brings your score to 52-19. Now we got this quick little 2-second break. I'm going to quickly whip up the Fight Club penalties here on YouTube. Pretty clean game so far. Only Guts and Davis have penalties. Projectile now going against April Sowers. I think April Sowers broke a skate earlier today, too. Projectile is through. Looking for points now. Plows through those blockers for Fight Club. And that is a cut now on April Sowers. Howabunga comes in, smashes up that tripod. Looking to make some more space. Just pushes Emsky out of the way. Projectile quickly moving back and forth. And just slices between Punchy and Emsky Hammer. Calls off that jam, freezing April Sowers in the box. They did some excellent work there. Your jammer is going to be, are you ready? Are you ready? Taking a little bit of a running start at this block jam. May have to make sure they slow down and then you get a procedural for going past that line. They're able to break through. Tornado tries to stop Arya. Arya just says nope and knocks them down. I believe that is Scream Soda in the box now. And Arya with 4 points. And we now have a successful star pass. So Tornado is now your jammer of record. And Kuzi in the box for a directional call. Are you able to come through the outside? Runs into April Sowers and Guts. Guts using April Sowers to push off of. To block Arya. Arya now comes through on the outside. Miss Kuzi trying to stop. Holds Arya up enough, but not enough for any of the teammates to get in. Tornado loses the star. Arya comes back around. Looking to add to this 16 they put up so far, looking for a few more. Looks like Knox is now headed to the box. You wanted to spend some time in that genuine penalty box. Tornado sees Arya coming around. You can see they thought about throwing a hit and opted not to. It's like Nomad, Otter Mayhem, and your other ref try and discuss, figure out if they're going to call something. I think that is Mansplainer Mac. I have a list of the refs, but I see refs' names on here that aren't. And I see refs out there that aren't. Labadie gets lead going against Bananimal. Bananimal finally able to get through the pack. Labadie almost gets through. Forced out by Pay the Pain. Put that 1 foot down. That's enough to prevent them from scoring any points, but they do call off that jam to keep Bananimal off the board. That jam was so quick it didn't even free Knox from the box. They will spend one more jam in the genuine penalty box. Joe Means Joe going against fellow teammate Mac Daddy. Both these players play for the NF Bombs as well. Jam is on. Mac Daddy looks to seem has one on the outside, able to get through just past Joe. Mac Daddy picking up the pace, the pack moving fast. This is probably the fastest moving pack I've seen all weekend. All the blockers jamming, moving for position. They're able to knock Blair down, but Blair able to stay ahead of Mac Daddy. Mac Daddy gets ahead of Blair. That pack is spread out. Picks up 2 and calls off that jam. Joe was not able to catch any of the blockers for the Fight Club. brings your score to 81-21. At halftime, don't forget, get your bids in. You can bid to throw a pie at a junior. Your options are to throw one at April Zowers, Masquerade, and Killer Cupcake. Guts grabbing Scream Soda's jersey and whipping them in front of them, trying to get them into front of Chris. Emski, jammer for Fight Club, gets through. Chris whips through, scores 4, and calls off that jam. Davis gets a directional call and is sitting in the box to feel shame for the start this next jam. One less blocker for Projectile to try and get past. We got Labadie out for Fight Club. I am 90% sure this is Labadie's third game of the day. Projectile with the jump, able to stay in, keep those skates in bounds. Labadie has cycled back. And we got directional call. That penalty going to She-Hulk. And Projectile quickly through for 4 more. Puts their total at 8 for this jam. They're doing a good job today. Starting to feel it. Comes around, sees Coleshaw. He's ready to turn the Jets on. Davis has taken the star for Fight Club. Worked on by Red, but able to get by. Projectile, a couple more blockers to get through. Sticks their butt past him, scores 2 points. Or 4 points. Not 2. Got a score right now at 97-21. 4 minutes left in this half. Are you ready now coming out? Going to be jamming against Mac Daddy. And Fight Club has called their second timeout of the game. Well, as timeout is out, I'll show you the penalties quickly here. So your penalties for Fight Club. No one even remotely close to penalty trouble. Davis is the only one with more than one. Your penalties for Calgary All-Stars. Little spread out. Almost everyone's got one. A couple of skaters don't. Projectile, Blair, Chris, Pay the Pain, and Are You Ready? And only a couple of them have 2. But Bananimal, Ruthless Red, and Razor. But I would have to say the best penalty so far today has been to Bananimal, who lost their mouth guard on the track. And in true Dewberry fashion, just shoved it back in while they were in the box. No need to rinse. That track dust is just flavoring. Mac Daddy going to be jamming against Are You Ready? Just under 4 minutes in the half. Arya looking for a hole. Arya with that quick explosiveness. There's a couple steps and then able to take off fast. Arya coming back around through. Spinning around, spins off April Sowers, getting low. April able to knock him down. Looks like it was no pass, no point, so they only got 3. They didn't get the point for passing April. April standing on the outside waiting. Arya comes back around looking for some more points. Mac Daddy now out of the box. And Mac Daddy grabs a jersey, able to pull themselves through. Arya falls down, calls off that jam. We're going to figure out what's going on here. And we're going to have an official review done by the All-Stars. Some za. While we're waiting for this official review to happen, let's just quickly glance at our points per jam menu. We'll see they're pretty close there for the first few jams. And then Calgary just opened it up in that middle pack of that half. It will really pull away with this 107-21 lead. About that 13th jam, they were able to just open this lead up and just not look back. It hasn't changed much, but since we got a timeout to take care of here, we'll just quickly glance at the penalties again. Fight Club board does look a little bit different. They only had 3 players with penalties the last time. Now they got a bunch. Sharing the wealth. Calgary most likely looking for a penalty or possibly to have a penalty rescinded. Looks like a penalty was assessed. Are you ready at the end there? My guess will be a low block. And it is a low block. So are you ready? We'll be sitting in the genuine penalty box. Lining up on the jam line by themselves is going to be Scream Soda for Fight Club. Jam has started. Pack is moving at a pretty decent pace. Red hit by a phantom blocker. Gets back up right away. Knox and Blair working on. Scream Soda. There's a forearm call on Betty Davis. Are you ready? Is now coming back. Guts, Emsky, and Tornado bracing for that impact. Are you ready? Was able to get out and secure lead jam. And Arya with a nice little apex jump on the inside corner there, able to pick up the full 4. Looking for a few more. And Guts has now taken the star for Fight Club. Arya calls off that jam. They were able to put up 8 points. Their score is 115-21 now. Just slightly over a minute. Now under a minute until halftime. Right now we also have on track 2 Saskatoon taking on Medicine Hat. Bananimal, your jammer for the All-Stars. Pushing on that pack, that is Kuzi, She-Hulk, Coleshaw, and Hort holding the back. They're going to pull that pack right to the end. Looks like there's a forearm to Coleshaw. That secures lead jam stats for Bananimal. And we have Maniac with the star. And this pack is getting tracked way back. Both jammers having to cycle all the way back. Almost a full track. 2/3 of it at least. And Bananimal able to quickly get through as that pack is fully spread out. And there's only, well, now only one blocker out there for. And She-Hulk not able to do much as Bananimal comes around for 4 points. 3 blockers now on the track for Fight Club. Bananimal bounces through, takes a hit from Maple Sours and keeps skating. And Maniac finally gets through, finishes that initial pass. Bananimal coming through. Quick dipsy doodle. Works past She-Hulk. Gets their 4 points and calls off that jam. And at halftime, we've got a score of 131-21. 16 points on that last jam for Bananimal. We'll have a quick glance at our penalties at halftime. Your penalties for Fight Club. No one close to penalty trouble. Your penalties for Calgary All-Stars. Everyone's got one except for Chris Blair and Projectile. And here's your points per jam overlay. See kind of where we stand for see how the scoring is going. Calgary just opened it up in that second half of that half. And now we'll see in. We'll see in a bit. What's that? You want some more Derby? Well, we will have some more Derby. We're at halftime of the Calgary All-Stars taking on Fight Club. Your halftime score, Calgary All-Stars 131, Fight Club 21. 30 seconds left in this until the half is over. I'll remind anyone at home who's just joined us what the penalties are at now. Calgary's pretty even. One across the board. Fight Club's kind of sort of the same. Well, Davis has got 3, but no one close to penalty trouble. Starting our second half will be Joe Means Joe and Betty Davis Eyes. The jam has started. And Joe gets through and gets lead. We're about 12 jams in. This game just swung heavily in Calgary's favor. For the first 12 jams, it's pretty even. And Calgary just opened this up. Joe able to put up 4 points to bring the score to 135-21. Your jam is on. Chris My Ass quickly through on the inside. But Emski is hot on their heels. Oh, there's a cut call on Coleshaw. Maniac and She-Hulk both knocked down. Chris able to get past both those down skaters to score 2. Calls off that jam. She goes down on the track. Looks like they caught part of their face when they fell. And projectile now for the All-Stars. Able to just dance past the blocker there. That was, I should know the names by now, Kamikaze. Projectile on their scoring pass. Mac Daddy's still trying to get their first pass done. Projectile sees an opening and takes advantage of it. And Mac Daddy gets through. Finally finishes that initial pass. Projectile coming through inside outside. Taps those hips and calls off that jam. They were able to put up a total of 7 on that jam. There's a generator that goes off and it sounds like there's feedback coming, but it's not. Throws me off. And are you ready? Quickly through to secure lead. Calgary continuing that success they had earlier. Are you coming back on their scoring pass? Runs into Carolella, gets really low and passed. Puts up 4. Just trying to pull up the YouTube feed here so I can chat if anyone has any questions. There you go. Arya trying to push through. Just knocked out. That is Killarella and Kuzi knocking them down. They're going to get cycled to the back of the pack. A long way around. They get back and get back in. Pick up 4. Brings their jam total to 8. Guts now has taken the star from Davis. You can see the exhaustion on their face. Arya calls off that jam. Able to put up a total of 8. They didn't get a third pass there. No points on that third pass. Brings the All-Stars to 152 points. Jam started. Bananimal quickly gets through. Secures lead. Taz able to jump ahead of Emski. Bananimal calls off that jam. Able to pick up a couple points before they did. 154 to 21. Joe Means Joe going to be jamming against, I do believe that is Mac Daddy again. And Joe quickly makes work. Calgary been getting the lead really quick this half so far. Joe comes back through, scores 4, and coming back around for some more. And Calarella takes a directional call. Joe pushing on that tripod of blockers. That tripod of blockers, who is 14? That is Tornado, Kamikaze, and Betty Davis eyes. They are able to get through. Tornado's on one of my lists, but not the other, so I just had to confirm that. Joe coming back around. And picks up another 4. Puts it at 16 so far this jam. Just under 40 seconds. Looking for a few more. Gets past Betty Davis eyes. And Davis has taken the start and is now your jammer of record for a Fight Club. Fight Club still fighting hard. Joe looking to hit that 24 mark. And with 6 seconds left in that jam, Joe opts to call it off. They didn't get the full 4 to put them at 24. I don't know if any jammers scored more than 29 this weekend. I know Joe scored, not Joe. Chris Myas put up 29 playing for Medicine Hat against the Coot Assassins yesterday morning. As far as I know, that is the highest jam of the weekend. Oh, Knox is going to the box. So now that was a high block to Knox. And Colshaw securing lead jam for Fight Club. Chris trying to fight, still looking for that initial pass. Only one blocker out there for All-Stars. It is Ruthless Red. And Red catches Colshaw. Just enough to knock them out, so they did get the point for passing Red. They did get the point for passing all 3 blockers in the box. And Chris finally finishes their initial pass. Chased by Colshaw. And Colshaw calls that off. And finally puts some points on the board this half for Fight Club to bring the score 28 to 178. 150-point lead. We will have to see if that turns the tides in Fight Club's favor. And Projectile bounces out and through. Gets lead. Smacky takes out Emsky, but also themselves. They are cycled back. They don't have to go back behind everyone. Scream Soda in there trying to make some space for Emsky. Smacky trying to make some space for Projectile. And Projectile's called on a forearm. That means we'll be skating for the full 2 minutes. Projectile will get freed from the box before the end of this jam. And Emski finally finishes their initial pass. Able with a chance to put up some points. Emski coming around through. After this game, remember we also do have our draws to happen for our door prizes. Emski pushed out by Smacky and Pay the Pain. Cycle all the way back. Projectile stretching this pack out. And we got a failure to reform penalty on Pay the Pain. Pay the Pain is taken out by Emski. Oh no, that penalty was going to Maniac. 4-4, not 4. Well, there's two 4-4s. I guess there's a 4-4 Howabunga now. Who's headed to the box? And Projectile does get through that pack. Score 186 for the All-Stars and 32 for Fight Club. And looks like we're going to have an official review being called by Fight Club. Your scoreboard announcements are brought to you by Youth Singers Calgary and Ken's Men's Roller Derby Association. Championship happening in Salem, Oregon. And all those watching on YouTube, you can thank Stream Systems for helping sponsor our streaming and our laptop setup here so we can have everything running as smoothly as possible for you. After this game, we do have our draws for our door prizes. They range from a dine and stay package for up to 2 people at the Carriage House Inn, valued up to $350. Coming to Flat Track next year? Well, you can use that gift certificate if you win it to spend at least one night there. We got a general admission tickets for valued at $250 for Callaway Park, 4 general admission tickets. Fit Set Ninja gift certificate for 5 open gym sessions. Notable, a local restaurant here in Bowness with various options. There's a $50 gift certificate from them. I've eaten there once and it was fantastic. We got the Hangar Museum. You can get a family membership for 1 year. And Winsport, there's a family mini golf package valued at approximately $88. Maniac and Howabunga starting this next jam in the box. There are 2 44s. 44 from Fight Club, 44 from Calgary All-Stars. I'm pretty sure that penalties, no one's gotten anything too crazy yet. Nope. And Chris Myas and Blair Block still penalty free for Calgary All-Stars, the only 2. Fight Club have a handful here that still haven't had to take a penalty. And our jam is on. Are you ready? Going to be jamming against Mac Daddy. Are you ready? Almost able to get through. That is a cut call on Mac Daddy. They will head to the Genuine penalty box. Are you ready? Bounces off April Sowers. On their first scoring pass, has scored 4 and looking for more. Ruthless Red took a forearm call. And Are You Ready? Jumps through on the inside for 4 points. A total of 8 so far. And Arya makes it 4 more. Now at 12. Coming back for more. Jockeying for position with April Sowers. And that is Guts, April, Killarella, and Maniac trying to hold them back as much as possible. But Arya is able to get through. And as she comes around, Arya Ready's looking for some more points. And a big hit by Guts there on that corner. Right by that jam line. Guts coming over asking Arya how they're doing. And now Calgary All-Stars are going to call for an official review. Looks like the Fight Club lost their earlier official review. And I do believe if you did pre-order merch from Calgary Roller Derby, there is still a bunch of people that have not picked it up yet. It is available over at the Calgary table. You can go see Wheel Crusher's mom and pick up your swag. We got our draws happening after this game. MVPs, tournament MVPs. I bet it's on here. Yeah, I don't know if it's going to be after this game or if it's going to be after that game. Calgary now going to be getting the results of their official review. We shall see if they won it. Is not going to happen since it's 18:08. And we're back. Bananimal, your jammer on record. Our Paya Junior will be taking place on after Track 2's game is done. Bananimal quickly through his skiered lead. Bananimal sliding around on the outside, looking for their scoring pass. Looks like Razor was yelling at him. That Coleshaw is the only player that they did have to get past. Thank you to our medics for rushing out to help out right away. That is Nap Attack. Checking on our down skater. The camera's off. And Davis is up. Good to hear. Good to see. I like that clapping sound. And it's always good when the skater can skate to the medical on their own. Whenever a skater does go down, they do need to sit the next 3 jams regardless of their injury status. Oh, sorry. If a skater gets a jam called off due to their injury, they do need to sit the next 3 jams. And Joe Means Joe gets lead. Punchy, your jammer on record for Fight Club, starting this jam in the box. The genuine box. And Tornado is now taking a penalty for Fight Club. Yeah, I do believe on my rosters here I have Rip listed as skating, but I think Tornado replaced Rip. Joe pushing on that pack, trying to get past the Emski Maniac and April Sowers. Runs at April Sowers. Joe able to keep their skates in. Given a shot, but able to keep up. Couple of steps and able to stay up. April's now taking that star for Fight Club. Joe takes a hit from Emski, spins around and calls off the jam. They did get 4 more. Put them at 12 and bring them up to 219 for the All-Stars. 32 for Fight Club. Chris My Ass now going to be coming up against Scream Soda. Chris makes quick work of that pack to secure lead. But Scream Soda is able to get through and get not quite able to catch up and get any points, but Chris did get 3 and called it. Ruthless Red going to be jamming now. This is their first jam. Watch for Ruthless Red to do their hair twirl once they get out of the pack. Coleshaw going to be your jammer for Fight Club. Red just gets asked to get Emski. Bounces off April. Red fighting through that pack. Gets through. Coleshaw's now through. Red hits the pack. Red with that smart jam spins around, sticks their butt into the pack. Able to get their hips past all 4 blockers. Scores 4, calls it off after scoring 8 points. Oh, there's the hair twirl at the end of the jam. Looks like April Sowers has gone for a procedural call. Projectile going to be jamming against Mac Daddy. Just slightly over 11 minutes. Projectile able to blast through that line of Punchy, and that is Miss Kuzi. It's just Kuzi now. Projectile bounces through. Bounces past April Sowers. A little stop, head fake, whip around to get past April. And Mac Daddy is through and has secured their opening jam. Now they are on a scoring pass. Projectile jumps up, tries to get past. Punchy able to knock them down. Well, because Projectile wasn't able to land in play. No points for that jam. There's a lot of penalties now. Let's see how it's looking now. Penalties are starting to add up for Calgary, but there's only 10 minutes left, so they should be good. And Fight Club have used their last timeout. And there are penalties here for Fight Club. Kamikaze, Labadie, and Rip, but I don't think Rip is playing because I have not seen them out there. Only players without a penalty. The only players without a penalty on Calgary are Blair Block and Chris My Ass. Not even a cut for Chris. And because this is my favorite overlay, we'll show the points per jam. And you can see pretty much after that 12th jam, Calgary just started to run away with it. Looks like only two jams were won by Fight Club since about jam 12. We got two blockers in the box. That is Smacky Kennedy and Howabunga for Calgary All-Stars. Davis, you're going to be jammer against Arya Reddy. Glad to see Davis back out there and is not hurt too bad. And Arya Reddy was sent to the genuine penalty box. No pass, no point for Davis. That means there's no lead jammer for this game as Arya is in the box. That means we're skiing for the full two. Davis trying to get through. Smacky. That's Smacky, Red, and Taz. Solid block there. Arya able to come out of the box, gets through, but because she went to the box during the jam, they are not able to secure lead. And Arya able to come through. Davis goes down by Smacky. That is a penalty to Howabunga and Taz. So Calgary down to two blockers again. Kamikaze there didn't realize where Arya Reddy was, and Arya just gets past them. Aww. And Davis is called on a forearm now. That means they will be starting this next jam in the box. Are you ready? Is now put up 12 for Calgary this jam. Davis was able to put up 8 for Fight Club. And I think that might have been an illegal contact call on Arya Reddy. So Arya was out of bounds and made contact with a skater, is my guess. So that is a penalty. At the start of the jam, Davis will be released right away. And then Arya will sit as long as Davis was sitting for. So, because if you don't have jammers, you don't have derby. Just like if you don't have refs, you don't have derby. If you don't have NSOs, you don't have derby. Arya trying to get through. Couldn't quite get through on that inside corner. Arya trying to fight their way through, is knocked out. That's Colshaw again. Excellent work there fighting and keeping Arya at the back of the pack. Bolt Jammers did start in the box, so Bolt Jammers do have the opportunity to secure a lead. Oh, but Arya's weighed off. No lead for Arya ready. There's another forearm call on Davis. And 4 points for Arya Ready. She's coming back around for more points. This is a full 2-minute jam. And 4, they are skating a little bit slower, but I mean, they just did back-to-back 2-minute jams. And that is a cut track on Are You Ready? Those magic words they did not want to hear. Davis coming around. Kind of goes up to change the start, does not. And that jam comes to its merciful end. And looks like Arya is leaving the track. That's a whistle. We're going to have an official timeout. Looks like we're going to have an official review by Calgary. Nope, timeout, Calgary. Everyone getting a chance to catch their breath. Arya is just gassed. They've been skating a lot this weekend. So no doubt Arya is just tuckered right out. And we're back. Arya has been replaced in the box by Bananimal. And Emsky comes out and secures lead. Giving some high fives to the crowd. High five. Emsky hitting that pack. That is that Blair block, Chris My Ass knocks and Knockout Sunday. And Sunday called on a forearm. And they're headed to the box for the forearm call. Emsky coming back around looking for more. And get past on the outside, past Taz and Knox. And Bananimal has finished their initial pass. Coming around on their first scoring pass. Emsky looking to the bench. You can tell they were thinking about calling it off. Our box is now clear. Sunday comes through trying to make some space for Bananimal, and they do. Bananimal scores 4. The bench calling for Emsky to call it off, and they do. Not before Emsky to put out 12 points. Nope. 15 points. Brings Fight Club to 62 points. That was almost a quarter of their points scored on that jam. 4 points for the All-Stars. Your jam has started. Projectile just blasts through that line. We're coming back for more. Projectile's looking to put up a few more points. And they get through for 4. And now Projectile's on a power jam as Mac Daddy is headed to the Genuine Power Box. Scream Soda had a little bit of toast up malfunction, able to correct it there on the track. Projectile comes through, catches Kamikaze and Scream Soda, so they have to drop their hands. And Projectile calls off that jam after scoring 12 to Fight Club 62, brings the score to 272 to 62, 210-point difference. Just under 2 minutes left. Enough time for at least one more jam, possibly 2. Joe Means Joe going to be jamming against Mac Daddy because Mac Daddy is starting this jam in the box. Joe stretching that pack out as much as possible and gets lead. And there's a directional call to Miss Kuzi. And now Joe is called for a back block. That means this is our last jam as we are skating for the full 2 minutes. And when there's a minute 4 on the clock and 1:26 on the jam, that means we are on jam time fully. And Mac Daddy comes on the inside and gets out. Goes from the inside and comes right outside and scores. Has now finished their initial pass and now on scoring passes. Mac Daddy cycled back far, taking a little bit more of a run than they needed to. Joe Means Joe has put up 4. Mac Daddy has now put up 4 of their own. Yeah, and we get a no pack call. Joe stretches it out. Able to draw a penalty there on Coleshaw as well. Directional call now on Ruthless Red as they will go to the box to feel shame right at the end of the game. And there you have it. Your final score is unofficial final score 287 for the Calgary All-Stars, 73 for Fight Club. That rolling whistle means the game is over. Come on and get your high fives. And then we have a whole whack of announcements because I do believe our other game is over because I saw Everton, unless Everton got ejected. I don't think he did.